Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your source for Second Amendment news. So this week, the FBI, the venerable Federal Bureau of Investigations, the law of the land, the law enforcers of the country, well, they came out and admitted that they've been using an unauthorized program against American gun owners. That's right, the FBI was using NICS checks and comparing them against a suspected terrorist database. And they've been doing this since 2004. Anytime somebody buys a gun from a federally licensed firearms dealer, they're run through NICS, which is the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, and it goes right to the FBI. Now, since 2004, the Terrorist Screening Center has been exporting a database right into NICS. Do you remember seeing any of that in any of the bylaws of NICS? Nope, not me. So obviously, there's no law that authorizes this action. But, with that said, denying somebody their right to purchase a firearm because they may be a suspected terrorist is a blatant violation of so many laws. And let's just say the Fifth Amendment, Second Amendment, 14th Amendment. It just goes on and on, blatantly violating the Constitution. And it's as simple as small things like underneath the Patriot Act and certain recently passed banking laws, you can become a suspected terrorist if you withdraw your own money from a bank in too large of an amount over periods of time. So say you are lucky enough to have $500,000 in the bank and you want to buy a house outright. Just pay for it in cash because you can. So you take $100,000 out for a down payment. Maybe another couple months later you take another $100,000 out, do another lump payment. And maybe a couple months later you take another $100,000 out to pay off your house. Well, guess what? You're a suspected terrorist. Your money, right? It's almost like they got all that negative attention from the no-fly, no-buy list, even though this started before that. So they kind of already knew this was taking place. If you think that the Democrats and the Republicans didn't know that this was happening, you're insane and you're lying to yourself. So they've already been doing a no-buy, no-fly list in some sorts, just from checking this, the NICS checks against this suspected terrorist database. Now, how much did that help the Orlando shooting? Because that person was on the suspected terror watch list. So maybe this is, even though the FBI admitted to doing it, apparently it's not working. Now, just like the no-fly, no-buy list, no-buy, no-fly list, screw your due process clause list, there's no known way, no published way of how you get on this suspected terrorist database and how to get off if you're on incorrectly, and how do you know if you're on? Screw that, that's just details, facts, schmacks. The interesting thing is, does this database and the process where they check it with NICS, is this just vetting gun owners? And now they can tell the terrorist watch groups, hey, that one has a gun? I don't know. Well, again, it didn't work in Orlando. So there you have it. Another overreach from federal government for gun control. Let's just keep pouring it on, shall we? I'm sick and tired of this bullshit, and I know you are too, but we need to all be involved. You can't just sit back and let a couple YouTube channels tell you what to do all the time. Take the bull by the horns. Start calling. Regardless of who your rep or senator is, regardless if they sit in a rainbow room on a unicorn wrapped in bubble wrap and just play with rainbows all day long, call them and tell them how pissed off you are at them and the fact that you will be voting against them at the next election. Those are the type of things that motivate these asses, other than money and donations, of course. Please, if you like this information, hit that thumbs up right below this video and pass it along to your friends. Hit the share button. I would greatly appreciate it if you would join the channel by subscribing to get the fastest Second Amendment news right here on Guns and Gadgets. Until we see each other again, I appreciate your time more than you know. Be safe, stay vigilant, and carry your weapon. Take care, everybody.